Hello, Brad here. Just to say we're super proud that the Friday 5pm podcast is sponsored by the Malt Miller, the UK's best home brew store.
We use the Malt Miller for all of our homebrew experiments, as well as tapping them up for advice and binging on their awesome YouTube channel all the time.
That's why whenever we release a homebrew video, we put a recipe kit live on the Malt Miller, so you can brew with the exact same amazing ingredients that we did. The same ingredients used by pro brewers.
So alongside the Malt Miller's nitro-flushed hops, cold-stored yeast and milled-to-order malts, you can pick up recipe kits for our 5 Points Best Bitter, Russian River West Coast IPA, and now the fastest beer in the world, a hazy session IPA that goes from grain to glass in less than 48 hours.
Sign up to their newsletter at tinyurl.com/Malt Miller to get 5% off your first order. With the Malt Miller's amazing customer service and Johnny's 48-hour recipe, you could order the ingredients on a Monday and be drinking the beer by the weekend.
Speaking of which, it's Friday.
It's 5pm.
So enjoy this week's Friday 5pm podcast. It's Monday, it's 8am. Welcome to the Monday 8am podcast. How are you, Bradley?
I'm all right. It's a bit early for a podcast, mate. In all seriousness, we've been looking at the kind of people that are watching Friday 5pm. Watching, listening. They could be watching it, Johnny. They could be watching on their iPhone, just staring at our beautiful faces and that 5pm graphic.
Just wishing it was a video podcast.
With podcast, yeah. So you guys are listening on commuter trains on a Monday morning. So you won't be listening on this Monday morning because it is Bank Holiday Monday, of course.
Oh yeah. I've picked a terrible time to make this joke.
Hopefully you'll be tucking in some Easter eggs though. I know I won't be, Johnny, because I only got one Easter egg this year so far. And
what do you mean only one Easter egg?
How
many
ate
Easter
it
eggs do
about
you usually
2
get?
weeks ago. I mean, I do, as you know, I really like chocolate a lot. So, no one's my sister hasn't bought me an Easter egg. My girlfriend hasn't bought me an Easter egg. My mum hasn't bought me an Easter egg. These are people that would normally buy me an Easter egg.
But it's not Easter yet.
Well, yeah, kind of. It is, Johnny. Now we are recording on Friday. It's Easter, isn't it? Good Friday.
Fair point. I don't actually know when in Easter the Easter eggs are supposed to be shared. I'd presume it's not the day that Jesus supposedly died, but the day that he went, oh, actually, I'm all right.
Is that what? That's not what Good Friday is it? Because Good Friday is the name when he died.
Oh, I don't know.
Is that seriously? We don't know. Basically, we don't know, do we, Johnny?
Basically, to us, Easter. Well, for you, Easter is chocolate. For me, it's it's nothing really. I can't remember.
Oh, damn.
I guess it's a Sunday roast. That's
Mate,
pretty much
it's
guaranteed.
hot cross buns. It's hot cross buns for you, right? I love a hot cross bun. Who doesn't? Do you know what I saw, right? Which I thought, that's cool. Was someone making a bacon roll out of a hot cross bun.
Oh no!
Bradley.
This is an annual dispute that Britain. It's probably in the British immigration, like the British citizen test.
Yeah,
whether you hate anybody that puts anything savoury in a hot cross bun.
Surely it's got everything at that point because it's got salt, sweet, umami. It's got like a kind of pillowy sort of softness, maltiness of bread.
Are you calling this is it a well-structured sandwich?
I think it's a well-structured sandwich.
Right, okay.
That will make you feel very sick after eating about 4 Easter eggs prior to
oh my God, you're doing both in one day. And the Sunday roast. This is genuinely, you see it in the news all the time, like M&S messing with the hot cross bun.
Yeah.
I have no issue with you putting bacon in a hot cross bun, but my question to you is, do you still put ketchup or brown sauce in? Because that sounds gnarly.
Well, that is a good point, Johnny. I'd have to. What I'd probably do is I'd have a little bit on the side of a plate. I would normally go with ketchup, but thinking about it, brown sauce has got like dates and vinegar and
Lots
stuff like
spices.
that in it.
Yeah,
spices, which might go with the sort of raisiny, datey kind of flavors that are
I
in.
think it's a better match,
Yeah.
isn't it? Do you know what I do?
Match.
I'd cook the bacon in maple syrup.
Yeah,
so it's crispy and sweet and not add any sauce. Lots of butter, but no sauce. That's how I'd deal with that abhorrent thing. I've just remembered something dredged up from my past. So I think it's at Easter in my hometown where I grew up, Abingdon, just south of Oxford. I'm pretty sure it's every Easter they throw hot cross buns off the top of the very tall town hall, and people catch them.
I like that. Because you can't get killed by one of those, presumably.
Well, if memory serves, they're usually quite stale.
Oh, okay.
But that I haven't thought about that in, well, probably about 30 years.
Wow. Nobody wants a stale hot cross bun. So are they throwing these off after Easter? Or is it more of a like we're throwing them off to sort of celebrate Easter? What's the crack?
Maybe I'm going to have to Google this. So it's hot cross buns, Abingdon. Let's see if this was... Here we go. Bun throwing, an iconic 400-year-old tradition unique to Abingdon-on-Thames. We've gone up in the world.
Okay. There you go.
Abingdon is also... It's the oldest inhabited town in England. And also, it, at one point, had the largest council estate in England. So it's lots of different fortunes. I mean, it doesn't really tell you much.
Largest council estate in England? That's interesting.
So sometime back in the sort of the 70s, I think, because Oxford's very expensive to live in, they thought, well, we'll expand Abingdon instead. You can find out more about this unique tradition. So the first time it happened was the coronation of King George.
Okay.
And the last time it happened was the Platinum Jubilee. Oh, so it's not Easter. It's just whenever something big happens.
Okay, so they're sourcing their hot cross buns out of season.
Yeah.
Like a Cadbury's cream egg that you can't get out of season. They are tracking down elusive buns.
They in 2018 they celebrated the end of the First World War. 100 years too late. A little bit behind on that one. That must be a little typo there. Yeah, there we go. So actually, not quite as.
Is that like a VE Day? Oh no, sorry, First World War. Yeah,
First World War.
Okay, interesting. Well, 100-year anniversary of First World War ending.
Yeah, but they just haven't put that. They put the end of the First World War.
Oh right.
Like, has it been going on for 100 years without us?
Mate, I mean, it feels like it has.
In 2000, they did it, and the note just says Millennium.
Right, okay. So it's like major milestones.
Yeah.
So at the apocalypse, you'll find some
some stale buns for your journey to
stale buns.
I don't know, Scotland or wherever you're headed
wherever.
To live out your last days.
Oh my God, Oh right, okay. So I thought you were saying the end is Scotland is the apocalypse or something.
No, quite the opposite.
You've chosen to drive there because it's beautiful.
And it's sort of more. I'm imagining maybe whether it's nuclear or zombies. I feel like you'd be better off in Scotland.
Probably. I've often thought this. I think higher ground with a water source is probably a good shout.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like a well. A well, I think, is pretty important.
A well?
Apocalyptic. Yeah, a well of water.
Yeah. So long as no zombies fall in the well and infect the water.
No. Ground well, like under, like dug down. How you gonna make your homebrew, Johnny, if you don't have a well?
Yeah, but
think about it, eh?
But you need a well to get to the groundwater.
Yeah, I'm saying it's a deep well, and you've got like one of those hand pumps, not like a.
Oh, okay. So there's no zombie falling. I'm with you now. I'm with you now.
No. They can't get in it. It's like the guys in a well. We've dug this imaginary well down. It's cost €800,000, Johnny.
Who have we paid to do this?
Oh, we found a deep. What do you call it? What do the people call it? Like deep government? What was it called? I can't remember. Like we found a black
secret government well digging team.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's this secret deep well that's
it's like
totally
Armageddon.
Uncorruptible.
It's like it's like the Armageddon team, but for wells.
For wells.
Well, they drilled, right? They were miners.
I don't. Do you know? I've never seen that film because
you've never seen it.
Nah, from everything about it, I hate. That had Aerosmith, didn't it? It was like, don't want to miss a thing, and it had
his daughter in it as well.
Bruce Willis. It had his daughter in it. A bit of nepotism there. I mean,
she's a great actor. But yeah, I mean, it's still.
Is she? I don't know. I'm not sure she is.
She's a nepo baby. Is that what they call them these days?
Nepo baby. Yeah. I tell you what, I do like. I like the video for Crazy by Aerosmith because it's got Alicia Silverstone in it and it's got Liv Tyler in it, and they're just having a great. I think they're going around in a convertible car, just having a great time, being cool and beautiful in like Hollywood or something. I can't remember. It's deep in the mists of my mind. It's back there somewhere.
This has been a freewheeling podcast so far. Crikey.
We haven't even said our milestone, Johnny.
No. Well, and also people might still be wondering. I guess we explained it, but yeah, lots of people listen to this on a Monday morning. We looked at the stats. There's a spike every Monday morning. Yes, tell us about the milestone, Bradley.
Johnny, we've been going for 10 years, mate. And when was it? Today. We'll call it today.
Sometime overnight.
We've hit 150,000 paid up subscribers, not paid up, but like fully signed up subscribers to our YouTube channel, Johnny. This is huge. This is huge for us. I know numbers are like, it's like, whatever, but you know, this is, I think there's power in numbers and there's power in, you know, like special events, and it's an auspicious day, Johnny. It's an auspicious day. I'm going to have to seek out some hot cross buns, mate.
Well, I was about to say, how are you going to celebrate? You're going to put some bacon in some hot cross buns?
I mean, if I want to have a coronary, maybe. Yeah, drive to Scotland with my hot cross bun, bacon sarnie in hand, driving freewheeling to Crazy by Aerosmith. I've got Liv Tyler and Alicia Silverstone in the back seats, and we're all having a fucking great time because we've hit 150,000 subscribers. They're now in the craft beer channel, Johnny.
Oh God, okay.
Yeah. So we're all having a great time. Maybe I'm driving over to get you.
Thanks. I was wondering where I was going to figure in this. If Liv Tyler's got an invite.
Well, she's got an invite. My girlfriend's in the front as well. Otherwise, she'd kill me if I ran off with Alicia Silverstone. And we're all having a great time. We're having a summer. It's almost summer, Johnny. Like I haven't even got on to my beer of the week, but it's sort of summer related. We're all having a great time.
But before you do, I've got another little flashback I've just had.
Oh yeah.
I went to see, oh my God, who was it? Kings of Leon, I think.
Yeah.
And I was stood by the VIP. It was a Hyde Park.
Yeah.
And I was stood by the VIP area, and Liv Tyler was in the VIP area, cool. And she was filming the gig, in portrait.
Oh dear.
So you've got a world famous actor filming in portrait. Couldn't believe it. Yeah, this was in the days before, you know, Instagram and all this, where you might want to. I just remember being stunned, floored.
Yeah. Well, you can't have everything in life, can you? You can be rich, famous, beautiful, talented, an actor, but a fucking idiot when it comes to using a mobile phone and technology.
Jeez, he's gone there. He's gone all the way there.
Or maybe she's a time traveler and she knew.
She knew that portrait Instagram video was going to become the scourge of Instagram.
She was preserving it for posterity.
She just didn't want to miss a thing.
No, that's good one, Johnny. But I know you want to move on now. I've seen Kings of Leon at Brixton Academy years ago, and Misha Barton walked past me, who at the time was on the OC or something.
I think that was all she's ever done, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember seeing her. She's quite distinctive looking, and my head was turned a little bit when she walked past. But yeah, that was years ago. That was like, I don't know, like I want to say nearly 20 years ago, but probably not that long ago. Just feels like 20 years ago, probably 15 years ago or something.
It probably would, because I mean, Kings of Leon, I think we went to see them. What was the album after, because of the times where it all went wrong? Just after that one.
I don't know. It's Aha, Shaky, Break, Achy, Breaky,
that was
whatever.
Oh God, I've lost the order. It was the one that had Sex on Fire and stuff on it, which were great singles. Then the rest of the album was kind of nothing, and then it all just fell apart.
That was like when they went to sort of being stadium rockers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Before that, they were little.
It was just after they went stadium was when we saw them.
Yeah. Mainstream. When they went mainstream, Johnny. Yeah.
7 or 8 years ago, I reckon.
Easily.
Anywho, beer of the week, Bradley. You said it's related to summer.
Yeah, so Sunday was at a boot sale in Deptford, outside Hot Burns Black. had a street beer.
I've seen this.
My first, you've seen this. My first street beer of the year, Augustine Hell. Summertime is here when you're able to sit outside and not feel absolutely freezing in the sunshine.
Are you sure you mean summertime? Is it not springtime?
It's springtime, isn't it? But it felt like summertime that day,
right.
Johnny. Life was good, mate. Life was good. I managed to buy a Sennheiser microphone, new in box, off of. There was a guy there called Cassius, something or other, who is also a YouTuber and an Instagrammer. He makes films on iPhone. I can't remember what he called it. iPhoneography, or maybe I've called it iPhoneography. But that's what he does on YouTube and Instagram. He makes stuff, right? So he gets sent products. And he was selling, because I was like, why is this posh guy got loads of he had like loads of microphones, little mobile gimbals, mobile rigs, and I was trying to suss him out because it was all like really cheap. Anyway, I bought a Sennheiser microphone to put on a camera for like 40 quid, like a £200 microphone.
He's selling sample stuff.
Yeah. I've probably just grassed him up, haven't I?
I?
Is it illegal? I don't know. His name is Cassius. I haven't told you his full name, so. But I was like, "Hi, my name's Brady." He's like, "Cassius." I was like, "Whoa, cool name, Cassius." And yes, I will buy your microphone now. I've worked out you're posh, and this probably isn't nicked.
Probably. When I was trying to be a music journalist, this is a long time ago. I did work experience. I won't say where because this is dobbing people in, but it's definitely used to be sold. Used to be given, promos of albums and stuff on CD.
Yeah, like white label stuff.
Yeah, and it was definitely illegal to sell those, but all of the journalists were doing it because when I was at Mojo, which is where I really wanted to work, the editorial assistant was 40 years old.
Wow.
So that's when I realised I was never going to get into music journalism. But also, he can't have been on much, so I did not begrudge the fact that every sample he got, he tried to flog.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen loads of white label stuff in record shops. It's I think it's a given that stuff gets sold, isn't it? Or I mean, you see it around. You see a lot of it in charity shops as well, which I always find a bit odd.
Well, I guess bothers me less if a charity's benefiting from it. I guess it's an industry that's dying now, as you probably just have a link to a private,
digital link,
private website.
Yeah, man. I also had an excellent pint of London Pride while I was watching some jazz the other night, and it was really nice.
How did that be a match with the jazz? Bitter's not what I'd think to drink during a jazz concert.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the jazz was. It was poor. My phone, my watch told me it was too loud. So
you told me
I was
this,
I was a little bit worried about my ears, and then I thought afterwards my ears hurt. But it was quite a good match. You're probably right. I probably could have drunk something a bit more angular than a.
I'd want a Gers or something. Something about jazz feels Belgian and wild.
Something a bit wild and sort of sharp, and would have been good. My girlfriend had dinner in the pub, but I was like, "Oh no, I'm okay. I don't want anything." We were out with a friend, and he bought a round back, and he bought me 3 packets of bacon fries because I wasn't having dinner. I was like, "Wow, that's pretty good."
Nutritious and delicious.
Yeah. And then I was like, "I'm enjoying this jazz." Actually, do you know what? I'm going to get some chips. So I had some chips as well, Johnny. Chips and jazz. And bacon fries.
Bacon fries is a jazz snack. That's
that's definitely a jazz snack. Well, probably the scampi fries are probably more of a jazz snack.
Ooh, good point.
Being that little bit like zingier, but
just not dry roasted.
No, dry roasted. What was your beer of the week, Johnny?
My beer of the week comes from this week's video. I could have picked any of those beers, but my favourite and the one that even though I shot that video in other morning. I saved the Kernel Export Stout because it was tasting that good.
Yeah.
So nice. I popped my trusty Hermitus on the top.
Beautiful.
And saved it for about 4 p.m. that day, and chowed right down onto that glorious coffee, dark chocolate, caramel fig, crema topped deliciousness. Oof. It's one of the best beers in the world, Kernel Export Stout. Speaking of which, today is the last day. It's the last day that you can order the Kernel mixed case from Brewser in time.
Wow.
In time
It's
for our live show on the 27th.
Quite a long way away from the live show.
Well, they've got a lot to send out, Bradley.
Yeah.
They've got hundreds of boxes to send out.
Holy fuck. Wow.
So, yeah, today's your last day. So do not miss it. Well, today, unless you're one of the Monday 8 a.m. listeners, in which case you've missed this. Friday 5 p.m.ers, today is your last day. So you need to use
Monday
the code.
Morning people. Sorry, Johnny, go on, go.
You need to use the code CBC8 to get £8 off your box. Sign up to Brewser. You can cancel very easily afterwards if you don't want more boxes, but they have incredible breweries that you can get every month to your door, curated by the brewery itself and always the freshest beers. And we heartily recommend their service. It's great and they're lovely people. So yeah, do that now. The link is in the descriptions box to this pod. What were you going to say, Bradley?
I was going to say, all you Monday morning listeners, what you doing? Get on the Friday tip so you don't miss out on beautiful things like that.
There we go.
But,
yeah,
you know, everyone's missing out on everything this weekend because there's no Monday work unless you're key worker or well, actually,
in hospitality.
Lots of people work on the bank holiday, don't they? So probably
somebody's got to throw the buns.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Johnny, we're gonna try to instigate now an inspirational quote of the week. Right,
yeah, this is based off of the Monday 8 a.m. revelation. We wanted to have, because we're always like, you know, it's time to relax, it's the weekend. But for the people on the Monday, that must just be rubbing it in, especially if you had a shit weekend. So Brad wants to do inspirational quotes for the Monday 8 a.m. crowd. Go on.
Yeah, so this is for you, 8 a.m. crew. Now, these can be highbrow quotes from, you know, the world's history's greatest philosophers. Aristotle.
You don't call me that, Brad.
You know, well, you did say something funny the other day. I should have written it down.
Just the one thing.
Just that one thing. Yeah. But this week, Johnny, our quote is brought to you by Lowbrow. So this is very much a lowbrow kind of quote.
Dreading this.
So this is, but it's sort of on the classics. So we're looking back at ancient civilizations and stuff. And this is a quote from the inspirational Matt Goss, Johnny, right? From the great documentary about Bros and the two brothers from Bros called After the Screaming Stops, I believe it's called. I love that documentary. It's fantastic for all the right reasons and all the wrong ones. But this is what Matt Goss has to say on the classics. Rome wasn't built in a day, and fuck me, that's true. But we don't have the time Rome had, right? So that's inspirational, Johnny, because we've hit 150,000 subscribers after our 10 years. And I really enjoyed that quote. And also, I've got another quote for you, Johnny, about our relationship, me and you, buddy.
From Goss again.
This is from Goss again, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Right, so this is him talking about him and his identical twin brother. I like to think of me and you as non-identical, non-twin brothers. But so Matt Goss
just
said,
brothers.
Yeah, just brothers. Spiritual brothers. Matt Goss said about his brother Luke, I was a rectangle, and Luke was a rectangle, and we made a square that became a fortress. Mate,
wow.
That's
that's going to depend on the shape of the rectangle.
Also, weird fortress that's just two rectangles. Surely it needs four walls if it's a fortress. But yeah, I love that because, you know, he's saying that we're both rectangles, Johnny, but together we make a fortress, mate. And that is
a fortress that you can push over
channel.
Real easy. Yeah.
Yeah, the fortress is like sort of two playing cards that are stacked in an A-frame formation that the wind could easily topple over. But, mate, that fortress, I tell you what, stronger together. We got here 150, buddy.
Yeah.
Matt Goss is rooting for us. You know,
I bet he is.
This doesn't get much.
Is he in the car as well? Is Liv Tyler having to take the middle seat?
He's in the boot. I put him in the boot. He wouldn't shut up. He's in the boot with his dog, and he's just stroking his dog. He's having a great time. He's singing his song Sorry, he's writing a song because he's a great lyricist. He's just in there thinking. He's not even panicked because he's like, what could happen to me? I'm Matt Goss.
Has he got like a torch, like a kid trying to read after bedtime, or is he just remembering?
And he's like harmonizing with himself. Ooh. He's like, ha, ha.
Yeah, no wonder he's in the goddamn boot.
Stuff. Yeah. He's in the boot. he's singing a song about road trips, and he thinks he's written Crazy, but what he doesn't realize is we're all in the front. We're all singing Crazy on the radio by Aerosmith. With his daughter and Alicia Silverstone, and he's just sort of he can vaguely hear it, and it's an earworm, and it's got in his head, and he thinks he's written it in the boot of his car. So when he comes out, he thinks he's written the greatest 90s what would you call that, soppy sod rock anthem ever, but he hasn't really, because he's just rewritten Crazy, Johnny. But maybe he couldn't hear Crazy, so he's called it Lazy instead, or something along those lines. But yeah, beautiful, right? We are at 25 minutes already. Wow.
Yeah. We spent a minute or two on beer. Should we talk about the video?
Yeah, go on then.
So this week's video, in case you haven't seen it, is I would call it a video essay.
Yeah.
/ a rant. Which comes off the back of the blind taste test that I've been doing, in which I drink between 15 and 20 beers in one sitting, completely blind. And the notion of balance, which increasingly I think is a very unhelpful word in beer, even though we've used it quite a lot on the craft beer, a lot in the last 10 years on the craft beer channel, because lots of styles are not balanced whatsoever. You know, if a chef made a dish that had the flavour notes of many of the styles, it would not be called a balanced dish. Greg Wallace would be... he'd be like, I'll lep it up, but it's not balanced. That was not that was more like Snatch. So I wanted to do a video in which we tried to address that and try to go, if balance isn't a particularly helpful term for a New England IPA because it's super hop forward, how do we approach these beers and dissect them and understand them better? And I started thinking about structure, and that's where this whole thing came from. So it's my belief that talking about structure is far more helpful. You can have a balanced beer that's also structured, but you can also have an unbalanced beer that still has structure to it. And it seems to have gone over really well. Lots of people have been like, yeah, that's a much easier way of understanding this. And it's clarified some things for some people, which is all I can really ask. Lots of people don't like it. They've said so in the comments. They've been quite mean in the comments. But if I've helped some other people understand and talk about beer, then that's really what we want to do as the Craft Beer channel. It's give people the language so that they can enjoy beer and understand beer better. What did you think of the video?
Yeah, man, that's what it's about, right? Like, that is the whole philosophy, brewlosophy, even if you would let me.
Noise.
But yeah, I think it's all about not being snobby or anything like that, but it's about enabling people to understand what it is they like about beers that they like. And, I think from understanding, you can have a greater appreciation, and you can just be more in the moment and enjoy something more if you understand what's going on with it.
Absolutely.
And why you're enjoying it, and also why it's special. You can have a sort of, a respect for the people that have made it. Maybe the place that you're drinking it in, if it's cask and it's been served wonderfully, or if it's a Czech pour and you can really appreciate how the tapster has made that beautiful crispy boy for you. And I think it's what it's all about, Johnny. So I thought it was a great video, very, very infotainment, educational. You did get some harsh people in the comments who were saying you didn't understand what the word meant, or what balance meant, which I thought was
just an award-winning writer not knowing what the word balance means. Yeah, sure.
Their comment wasn't very balanced, Johnny.
You're not wrong.
I think you both basically agreed on the point in the end, anyway. But I had a comment.
Two sides of the same coin.
Exactly. Had a comment from Declan Walsh. He said, "I absolutely love this type of video. Johnny is fantastic at describing beer and also explaining what craft beer is all about."
Oh, Declan.
Agree about the term balance. I'd also add that smooth is a similarly unhelpful term. I'm very...
you love a smooth beer, hey?
I love a smooth beer. I love saying something smooth. Anyway, so I'm guilty of that. Will there be a CBC Cicerone / beer sommelier school, Johnny? Looking at you because I haven't got a clue.
What, but, like you could be a CBC accredited beer nerd?
I mean, that'd be great, wouldn't it? We could monetize that. Yeah.
Straight to business. Straight to business, Brad.
We could actually make a decent living probably if we made an accredited sort of thing. But then who's accredited us to be accreditors?
Yeah, no one. I way back got the level 1 Cicerone qualification, the certified beer server, and I would argue that actually the thing I really shouldn't do is serve beer. I'm much better at talking about it than serving it. So it's one of those things. I've always wanted to do the Cicerone stuff. I'm pretty sure I'd smashed the first one, advanced and then master. No idea. But the amount of time you have to invest into the research and the learning, because it is Cicerone is a qualification for beer servers, right? So lots of the information is based around serving a beer well, and that's not necessarily something I know a lot about. I know how to look after a cask, but in practicality, I've never run a cellar. I don't know, gas mixes and stuff like this. So I've never sat down and really learned it. And I think that's true of a lot of beer writers. That actually a lot of the syllabus is slightly irrelevant to a writer. So maybe there is room for a CBC beer nerd qualification.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, we haven't got time to be doing that. You're writing probably an award-winning book right now, future award-winning book right now. So you ain't got time to be doing that, and I haven't got the gumption. So we'll have to wait. Maybe that's a 2024-25 project.
Brad, you've got gumption. If I could say one word for you, I think it would be gumption.
Forrest Gumption. I had another comment which I thought quite tickled me. I thought it was quite funny. Jake Perks said, "I had a pint of Carlsbergs in a curry house a few weeks ago, and it genuinely astonished me. I was astonished by how skillfully the brewers managed to remove all traces of aroma, flavour, and mouthfeel to leave you with nothing. Absolutely nothing. I can only imagine that people who buy it don't actually like beer. They drink it to get drunk without the bother of having to process inconvenient things such as taste. Probably the worst, and this is good, probably the worst lager in the world."
Oh, I see what he's done there. Yeah. He's flipped.
He's flipped
their tagline back on them.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, man. I've got a I thought that made me laugh, made me have a chuckle. Carlsberg. I've got a rave t-shirt, which is a recreation of a rave t-shirt from the 90s. That's a Carlsberg label, or like a big one on the front of a t-shirt, but instead of Carlsberg it says Carefree Happy Crew or something. So it's like they've subverted
Carlsberg Special Brew.
Yeah, that's it. Carefree Special Crew or something. It says. Yeah, it's good. I like it. I don't know what I've done with that actually. I need to dig it out.
I'm actually for my hopefully award-winning book out next June. I've been researching Carlsberg of late. It's a really interesting story, the history of Carlsberg. Carlsberg, like Spaten in Munich, were one of the really forward-thinking, technologically driven breweries of the 1800s.
Yeah.
And the guy that founded Carlsberg had a son who he intended to take over the Carlsberg dynasty. So he sent him all around Europe. He went to Spaten and made friends with Sedelmeier and all these incredible people that, patented the fridge and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, he came back, his son, and rather than come to work for Carlsberg, his dad helped him set up his own brewery called...
Right.
Well, I won't say what it's called. That will spoil it. But essentially, they went into competition with each other and completely fell out.
Oh, dear.
The son called his brewery New Carlsberg.
Oh, dear.
Then, won the battle for the rights to it, so his dad had to start calling his brewery Old Carlsberg.
Oh, Christ.
It's a whole thing. It's pretty fascinating. Wow. I don't know how much of that I'm going to be able to tell in the book, but I'm really keen to, because it's a lot of fun. That main story comes from Mark Dredge's amazing lager book, which I talk about all the time, but it is absolutely amazing, and you should all buy it. But yeah, Carlsberg, fascinating company, but the beer has fallen off a cliff. Yeah.
That's a bit like Adidas and Puma. They were two brothers as well.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so Adi Dazzler. Yeah, Adidas comes from the dude's name, Adi Dazzler. And I think that might have even been the guy that made Puma. Might have been called Adi Dazzler, I'm not sure. But it was two brothers that split, I believe, and went on to form, I mean, Puma had its day.
It did have its day. It's still...
Yeah.
It must still be quite a bit. There's probably a country we've never been to where Puma is massive.
Yeah, I can tell you, Johnny, I like bicycles as well, as you like bicycles. I've actually got a Puma bicycle.
Wow.
That's licensed by Puma, made with a Scandinavian bike maker called Biomega. And I don't know if you remember when we worked for JO back in the day, Barnaby used to ride around on like a funny little bike with a basket on the front.
He did.
I've got that bike, got the same bike.
Huh.
Except mine's like real jazzy coloured, and that's a Puma bike. And I also used to work in the Heels building just off Tottenham Court Road, at a TV company, and we had Puma creative office in the same building, and they used to run these like days when you could go in and just buy like crazy sample stuff. So I've got a few weird Puma items that I bought like 15 years ago that are just, I think they're like one-off weirdo sneakers and bags and things. But that was where I first saw one of those bikes. I was like, I really want one of those bikes. But yeah, Puma, Adi Dazzler, that sort of vibe, innit? We had a crazy factoid, if it's true, about lagering at Carlsberg, but I don't know if we can disclose it. Do you remember that? What we heard recently?
No, yeah, I think we can disclose that. Yeah.
Is it true? Do you think it's true?
I don't think we should let truth stand in the way of this podcast.
we heard recently that the lagering that Carlsberg goes through, it's like a flash lagering process that's over in seconds, not even minutes or hours, seconds.
Didn't he say 1 minute?
Well, maybe it was 1 minute, so 60 seconds then.
Yeah, maybe.
So they lager in 1 minute, so it's like taken down to whatever, minus whatever, but maybe under pressure so it doesn't freeze or something crazy.
Yeah, I think that was roughly something around there, more scientific, but yeah, and that's all it needs to go through certain chemical processes that would result in a clean beer.
So it takes all the sort of the reason why you lager for such a long time is to kind of let all of the kind of off flavors kind of like die out, work their way out, kind of thing, right?
Well, be
reabsorbed or eaten it.
Changed.
Yeah, that's the word. Sorry.
Yeah, so like the diacetyl, the sulfur compounds, all that kind of stuff. I mean, there are sort of studies into whether other flavors change as well during that time, which probably wouldn't happen in that 1 minute thing. But essentially, yeah, they can produce the flavor profile they are looking for at super cold temperature for 1 minute. So it's like the opposite of flash pasteurization.
We need to make the fastest fastest homebrew lager in the world.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know how cold. Well, actually, it has reached like -10 in this studio. Lots of people seem to be concerned about my plant. That's because it reached -10 in here and it basically died.
I don't know if I believe that. I don't think that's why. I think they're just hard to keep. No.
This was from literally from the section of the Patch website that I think is called Unkillable.
Yeah, the thing you did wrong there was you bought a really expensive, overpriced plant. You should have just gone to IKEA, mate, and you could have got the same plant. Do that next time.
There are very few things that will get me through the doors of an IKEA. Slightly cheaper plants are not.
What about the fried onion bits?
Dude, the food brilliant. Is trash. Why do people always say
bits?
This?
Come on, don't tell me you don't like the fried onion bits. You can buy those to take away. They're awesome.
You can buy them from anywhere. They're just fried onion bits. I don't need to go to IKEA and have my soul gently ripped from my body as I follow arrows for eternity.
Wow, we are diametrically opposed to.
In many ways, you and I are different people.
Our love of IKEA. I've often thought about. I'd quite like to work for IKEA in their design department. I thought that'd be a dream job. Apart from you have to move to Sweden, some sort of rural bit of Sweden where they've got their main office. I was like, that'd be awesome. I think they can. They're such a huge company that can have a positive impact on the world and how we sort of buy things, and decorate our houses. But obviously, I'm a massive advocate of charity shopping, boot sales, and thrifting and stuff like that. So I'm a big consumer, but also I do think that recycling stuff, bit of a womble basically. I think that we should all be wombling and making do and fixing stuff. Like all of my clothes and stuff are all secondhand. People call me a style icon, Johnny. I call my eBay account my wardrobe, my style icon status comes from there. If I can't call myself a style icon, that's ridiculous.
I thought other people did. That's what you were saying.
Other people have.
I'll call you a style icon.
I don't know. Icon's a strong word. Maybe just style forward or something.
Somebody did comment in this week's video. Somebody said I looked dapper.
I saw that, Johnny. I saw that. Why do you? Why do you think it? No. I think it was good. You had like a sort of French workwear vibe going on. Had a, what do you call it? Like a kind of a workwear sort of blouson sort of jacket on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember exactly what we could call that. But
I guess just a work jacket.
Yeah. You look like you're going to sort of 1940s. I'm not taking the piss because I've got loads of these jackets as well. But you're going to, just had a hard day working in the tire making factory for unicycles in your rural French idyll, and you're going to drink some what do you call it?
Reassuringly expensive Stella Artois.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. It's a classic Stella Artois advert where you're unicycling along in a quirky French town, going, "Oh, Stella Artois," and then all of that shit going on, and then you settle down with your crispy pint. But everyone thinks you're sat at a seat, but you're actually still on your unicycle. But you're wearing your little bluson. You look great. I like it. I don't know why I've gone into that so much.
You certainly had your bacon and hot cross buns this morning. You are flying. I have no idea what I'm going to call this podcast. There's so many that I could pull out as the title, and I just don't know what it's going to be. Have you had a favourite?
I don't know. I quite like that French unicycle chat. I thought that's quite good.
Yeah. Matt Goss in the boot.
Matt Goss in the boot. Oh, it's Matt Goss in the boot, isn't it? Nobody puts Matt Goss in the boot.
Except for you. You did. And Liv Tyler probably helped.
She's tall, isn't she? I reckon she's pretty strong, Liv Tyler. Yeah, I reckon me and Liv Tyler could put Liv. What's Liv short for? Is that short for something else? Lilibeth or Elizabeth? Liv. What's Liv?
I don't know.
Never thought about that. What a strange
It could just
name.
be Liv. Just, live and let live.
Live and let live.
Be called
in
Liv.
the boot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Don't know.
Okay.
Anyway,
150,000, Johnny. 150,000, Johnny.
Woo!
Another 10 years, mate. 10 years of the channel.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful time.
Okay. So Brad's got so excited, he's hung up. He's hung up the call. Not really sure what happened there. He might call me back. He might not. So I'm going to say... oh, no, here he comes. Why'd you hang up on me, Brad?
You cut out. I don't know what happened there. I was just going into 2023, what a time to be alive. 23 is a mystical number, Johnny. Did you know that? It's very...
Jim Carrey doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it. No. Oh, yeah, you're right. He was in that film, wasn't he? It was called 23, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's literally about how much he dislikes 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting number. I can't remember. I haven't got any anecdotes for you. Maybe I'll come back next week with some number 23. Yeah.
Please do your research. Maybe there'll be the quote of the week. The next week will be about the number 23. So yeah, we're going to call it quits here. What am I trying to say? We've got the Kernel live show coming up. You've got a matter of hours to sign up for that. Please do. It's going to be great fun. We're going to be back next week with a pretty epic video, which if you follow us on Twitter, you might know a little bit about. And then hopefully soon our Budvar content will be coming. And we have a big shoot day in the book as well. So there's lots of exciting studio-based and international-based content coming your way very soon. But the key thing to take away is 150,000 subs and Kernel live show on the 27th. So we will see you and you will see/hear us this time next week. The Bubble and Friday 5pm podcasts are brought to you by the nerds behind YouTube's craft beer channel. You can watch over 400 mini documentaries at youtube.com/the craft beer channel. And if you love what we do, support us via Patreon and get access to merchandise and our amazing Discord forum, a positive and welcoming space for everyone who loves beer, food and homebrewing. Love and beer.